Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, I'm going to be joined by a teammate of mine here in Aftershock that spent a lot of time doing and charting a lot of Demon Hunter testing here. So I'm just going to have a conversation with him and have him walk me through some of these numbers because I think we've got a lot of interesting things to keep in mind for a lot of you Demon Hunters or anybody in general that are using a couple different sets and a couple different gems here. So let's get into it. Alrighty, and now joined by Ghost here. How you doing today?
Hey, how's it going, Chosen? Doing well.
Awesome, good to hear. And Ghost, isn't a content creator and not coming on camera or anything. We're just doing a voice call to go over some of this testing that was going on. So you want to kind of walk us through the methodology of kind of what you were thinking, just as an overall theme here on some of this testing.
Yeah, so what I really wanted to do was understand the differences between the Demon Hunter sets, specifically the Shaw Boss set and the Vithu set. I wanted to understand which one is actually better because most people are being told or hear that Shaw Boss is the best. That's what you need to run as Demon Hunter. I was hearing in main Discord channel that Vithu's actually has a lot of potential and is probably even better, but I didn't quite believe it, but I wanted to actually test it and substantiate that claim. So that's really what kicked off this whole testing.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for putting in the work on that. It looks like we've got three different charts here. One goes up to 30 shots, one goes up to 100 or 99 or something, and then we've got kind of like a spreadsheet breakdown of all the different distributions.
Yeah, that's correct. So on the line graphs, what I had to do was really look at the shots per second, and it's kind of abnormal here. You see shots on the x-axis there, and you actually have time on the y-axis. And I had to do it that way because you can't have a partial shot. So if I wanted to compare, well, how many shots does if I do 18 shots on the Demon Hunter with this combination of gear and gems, how long does that take? So the time is actually kind of dependent on the shots themselves. So I wanted to actually capture video for each different set, which is what I did, and then look at the iterations of every third shot. And so I took a timestamp of every third shot that the Demon Hunter can actually fire. And then
Okay,
I get data points up to 99 shots.
nice. Okay, and it looks like the baseline here, so you've got 10 and 5 seconds about, so it's like 2 a second.
Yeah, it's about 1.92 shots per second.
Okay, cool. And then like where's the best spot? Where do you want me to start here on showing this?
So I think the line graphs aren't as yes, this graph right here I think is the best way to look at it. And so if you look at the baseline, you can see all of it's going to be zero, right? I mean that's your baseline. So all of these numbers are in reference to the baseline, and that can actually tell you the increase in attack speed. So Carson's is a great one to look at because it should give you a rank 10 Carson should give you 16% attack speed. We see even 18 shots 18 shots attack speed percent. Let me just go over this graph here. If you see the different columns, what I call is the initial, like the 18 shots to 30 shots, that's kind of your burst attack speed. And then the 60 shots and 99 shots, that's going to be more of your sustained attack speed. So I wanted to differ it up or to separate it out because it's important to see how it actually functions over time. Because
Yep.
burst damage is huge for a Demon Hunter.
Yep. So your 18 and 30 would probably be a little bit more for like PvP type scenarios where you want to burst an engagement, and then your 60 and 99 would be like more of a dungeon and challenge rift or open world farming scenario.
Yeah, and I think even in dungeons, the burst is better because I mean, how many bosses you can melt in less than 30 shots, probably.
If you're in a
So
proper group with a banner and everything, yeah,
absolutely,
yeah, it's very bursty.
absolutely. So it really depends on your situation, but for sure, your burst damage for PvP, I think, is going to be huge.
Sure. Okay. And an important note, you're talking about like a maxed out Carson's, right?
Correct. That's
Yep.
rank
Yep.
10.
Yep, and then the smoke screen it counts as a buff effect, but you have to pair it after the vengeance because you can't double dip them, correct?
That's correct. So on the Vithu set, if you don't know, uh, you get a 30% attack speed increase for 3 seconds after you use a skill that buffs you. So for a demon hunter, that's going to be vengeance, and then you can also use smokescreen. But they can't stack on top of each other. You can't use vengeance and then smokescreen immediately to get like a 60% Vithu's buff or anything. They need to be separated.
Yeah, and you can look up on the top left of your screen, wait until you see the buff icon go down, and then pop your other one, right?
That's correct.
Yep. Okay, so that's what you're doing here for the methodology, and it's looking like the sweet spot here, if we're going for 30 shots, is a nice one. Doing Vethos plus Smokescreen plus Carson's, if you manage it properly with the cooldowns of Vengeance and then Smokescreen, you're getting all the way up to about a 70% increase on your default abilities attack speed.
Yeah, that's correct. It's wild. I think it's really important to note that for some reason with Vithus, especially in the burst damage, you see a huge increase. I mean, the Vithus is only supposed to apply 30% attack speed, and then if you add in Carson's, right, yeah, it's 16%. So we're looking at 46% attack speed, but yet we're the damage, I mean, sorry, the attack speed is just way higher than that, and it's consistent between each Vithus test. All of these tests are different, so it's not just a one-off. Vithus, for some reason, with burst damage or burst attack speed, I'm sorry, is just huge.
Okay. Yeah, no, I really like that. And it's so it'd be like a 4-piece Vithus. And what do you think is gonna end up kind of shaking out to take full advantage of this for like the 6 choices for a demon hunter?
So for the 6 choices, I think it's going to end up being 4-piece Vithus and 2-piece Shao Boss. I mean, get that extra 15% primary attack damage. I think that's what
Yep.
makes the most sense to me.
Yep. I was kind of thinking the same thing for sure. And then Carson's obviously an S tier 1-star gem for demon hunters.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing what it does whenever you add it onto the rest of the attack speed increases that you're getting.
Okay, cool. Well, no, it's good to get this context. It's pretty self-explanatory, and I'll link to this screenshot down below if anybody wants to pull it up or anything. Is there anything else? I don't want to take too much of your time or anything here today. Is there anything else you want to make sure that I go over or talk about, or anything pertaining to the testing you were doing here?
I did want to mention the cooldown reduction. So if you don't know, there is like a hidden cap of 30% cooldown reduction for Vengeance. So we've tried to get up to 45% cooldown reduction on Vengeance, and you actually can't get that. So there's 20-second cooldown for Vengeance normally as a baseline. You can only get that down to 14 seconds, which equates to 30%. In this testing that I did, because it does kind of apply to Vithus with how often you are proccing Vengeance, I had about 27% cooldown. So just for a reference here.
Yep. So there is actually a cap to how often you can spam those vengeance abilities, you're saying?
Yes, and that affects the Vithus testing.
Okay, great. Thanks for the context on that. And is there anything else we need to cover?
No, I don't think so. I look forward to trying to get my sets. I still haven't got my full Vithus, at least good pieces yet. So
Yeah, and we're just now getting to the point where we can finally get into Hell 4 and start doing some of these min-max builds.
absolutely.
All right, and yeah, so we're just kind of now getting into Hell 4 and getting to the point where we can min-max some of these 4-piece plus 2-piece and have all 6 of those slots available. So get out there, Demon Hunters, and prepare to get the 4-piece Vithus and 2-piece Shao Boss to really crank up the attack speed. So, hey, Ghost, I really appreciate the hard work you put in on charting this and testing it and taking the time to have a call with me and explain this.
Yeah, absolutely, Chosen. Appreciate you having me on here.
You bet. Thanks, man. Have a good one. We'll see ya.
Take care.
Alrighty, so that was Ghost joining me here, and again, I will link to all of those resources down below if you want to pull up the different charts and then the different spreadsheet here as well if you would like to look at that on your own time. So as always, thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.